So again, good afternoon, dear friends. I, Dr. Noor Mishra from Varanasi. Today I will talk the second part of my earlier lecture. And you all remember, yesterday I delivered a lecture on global perspective of pandemic effect impact on global economy, including India. And further today, I will just move forward to talk about the specific problem of Indian economy and also the talking point of vaccination. So friends, we all know that India along with South Africa and also many institutional bodies like Oxfam, who urge that rich countries to open the way to cheaper mass produced COVID-19 vaccine in order to protect every person in the world. And you remember that earlier in my lecture I just draw your attention regarding the speed up of vaccination. So friends, the inequality in COVID-19 vaccine distribution is hitting low and middle income countries very harder. And with India likely to lose 786 billion US dollar, or we can say over 27% of GDP because of global vaccine inequities. And this report has been published by Oxfam. So this is the priority areas to be talked in the global stage. And citing estimates of the International Chamber of Commerce, that Oxfam said that vaccine inequality at today's scale would cost the world around 9.2 trillion US dollar in the term of economic losses. In the worst case scenario, with rich countries suffering half of that blow. So this is a common concern. This is not concern of a specific country. And that's why we should talk about the vaccination for all before talking of the specific economy of a country. So friends, despite this, rich countries are among those opposing efforts, especially Switzerland type of country, by India and South Africa at the World Trade Organization to break upon the monopolies of big pharmaceutical companies, a move that would help other manufacturers to mass produce more and cheaper vaccines. And we all know in our country also there is a huge massive drive for the sake of free vaccination for all and patent wave for vaccination program. And this is also a very much digital petition movement is going on in India by the Swadeshi government. So it urged that the rich countries to open the way to cheaper mass produced COVID-19 vaccine in order to protect every person in the world. And this is exactly what Swadeshi government is doing in our country, urging the whole world through digital petition, which has crossed 8 to 10 lakh digital petition, and around the world there is more than 30 lakh digital petition is there to waive the COVID vaccine with the patent right. So friends, it said the current approach for global production and distribution of COVID-19 vaccine is falling far short of what is needed. And that Oxfam, with other members of the People's Vaccine Alliance, is calling for an end to vaccine apartheid. This type of words Oxfam has used for the inequality of vaccination around the world, which is seeing rich nations vaccinate 1% a second, whilst many developing nations have yet to administer a single dose. So this is the need of that vaccine should be free from the patent right. And this all alliance called for present US President Joe Biden and other rich countries to leaders to show immediate support for lifting pharmaceuticals monopolies and intellectual property rules to enable huge scale up in global vaccination. And India is leading country for the demand of this wave of the patent right. And the US, UK, Germany, France, Japan and Italy, these countries together could lose as much as 2.3 trillion US dollar in GDP this year. So we should talk of whole country's economy and whole country's loss of economy unless they stop fighting on behalf of a handful of big drug companies to retain the intellectual property of the vaccine, despite this status quo plainly failing both them and everyone else. This is what Oxfam report has said, and this is also the severe concern of our country, because while India lose 786 billion US dollar because of vaccine inequities, South Africa also could see 24% of GDP wiped off. Adding that, Philippines type of country could be striped about 18% of GDP this year. So this is the talking point of the economy, and this is the result of this COVID pandemic. So friends, a people's vaccine is possible and very much possible if WTO members waive the company's intellectual property, as our country India, South Africa and more than 120 other countries are demanding. And the vaccine science and technology are shared through the WHO's Coronavirus Technology Access Pool, that is called at CTAP. So countries from around the world, including the richest G20, they are meeting to discuss these all issues. And so, dear friends, talking of economy is another thing, and giving this solution is another thing. So together, these all initiatives would go a long way towards providing public health protection and economic stimulus that people and countries all over the world desperately needed, and they need it. Urgent action is needed as COVID-19 continues to spike, mutate and kill whilst continuing to wreak economic havoc. So friends, only economics is not talking point. We should also give some solution, and globe should unite together to fight with this pandemic war. So as per our Indian economy, when we are here to talk about certain things about also Indian economy, there is CMI report, and we all know that coronavirus pandemic and the subsequent lockdown in our country to curb the spread of infection in the consumer sentiment in our country and led to an increase in household savings. And these two factors will drive the economic recovery after the pandemic. So that CMI also optimistic that when this lockdown will completely end, then there is hope to recover our Indian economy. And citing from the Reserve Bank of India, the CMI said that household financial saving in India shot up to 21% of our GDP in first quarter of fiscal year 2020-21, and after averaging 7.2% in 2018-19 and 8.2% in 2019-20. So we had reserve and we had to invest after this pandemic effect. So the household saving declined to 10.4% of GDP in the second quarter of 2020-21 with relaxation in lockdown. That means economy is moving on. And the expectation is that when mobility restrictions are removed, households of these economies will be in strong position to spend. With vaccination underway, such a scenario is not too far. So we Indians should be very optimistic. Then after ending the lockdown and speed up of the vaccination program, our economy will be in a recovery path. Friends, India's saving rate doubled during the lockdown, much like USA's and UK's saving rate. This gives India a good chance to recover like them. So don't be panic regarding economy. Be optimistic while comparing with the other economies. But of course we should also remember that like the US, India also has a large lower income base that has lost jobs and incomes. This fact is true. And this could hurt the recovery process in short and medium term. We should recognize certain facts also. And besides consumer sentiments, this will also play an important role in recovery. So, friends, we should talk about Indian economy. We should talk about the Indian economy. We should also optimistic, but we should also realistic. Because we all know that the index of consumer sentiments in India fell by 7.9% in March 2020 and massive 52.8% in April 2020 as compared with 11.8% fall in March 2020 and 19.4% decline in April 2020 in United States. So these should be also a comparable indicators. And the lockdown was far more severe in India. Remember, the lockdown was far more severe in India, and this shows the consumer sentiments. So friends, we should also see that physical transfer by the Indian government to households during the lockdown were mostly in rural India in the form of Manrega, MG Manrega, that is called as Manrega, and PM Kisan plan. And the impact of these can be seen on distribution of consumer sentiments, which is skewed in favor of rural households. So this is good sign to tackle with the Indian economy. It can be assumed that most of the spike in household saving is in richer households, because recovery in consumer spending in India is likely to be concentrated in the richer households if the sentiments are not too bad. So as COVID-19 cases continue to rise, now it is declining, but if there will be third wave, the country and there will be talks of return of lockdowns, the whole scenario will change. So friends, science has delivered vaccines against the virus. Efficient administration of inoculations along with the sustained discipline in maintaining physical distance is better strategy than a draconian lockdown type of situation. So preparing for the third wave, we should also remember these all facts. That's why, friends, many have been critical nowadays in our country, but this was the reason lockdown was not imposed centrally, and that was a wiser step, and that's why our economy is in a good health. So friends, again I am repeating, when we should talk about Indian economy, compare with global economy. And we all know there are global forecasts. India is third most speedy recovery country in the world. As per data released by a global forum, we can see number one is China regarding GDP and PPP, purchasing power parity in billion US dollar. China is most speedy recovery countries from 2020 to 2025. And then comes the position of United States. And after that, India is the only country in this race. And we all know that purchasing power parity is a popular metric used by macroeconomic analysts that compares different countries' currencies through a basket of certain goods approach. And purchasing power parity allows for economies to compare economic productivity and standard of living between these two countries. Friends, the economic theory of PPP, that is purchasing power parity, is commonly used to compare the economic health of countries across the world. And the absolute PPP calculation is calculated by dividing the cost of a good in one currency by the cost of good in another countries, usually by the US dollar. So each country has to record and report its own data. So India is maintaining her own data, which is there compared to the countries to access economic performance. And through this, our country India in 2021, as per data released from World Forum, 9,654.2 billion US dollar, which will improve in by 10,610.7 billion US dollar in 2022. Again in 2023, it will increase up to 11,627.5 billion US dollar. Again in 2024, it will increase up to 12,728.1 US billion dollar. And in 2025, it will increase up to 13,909.3 billion US dollar. So India is a good recovery path, along with China and US. These three countries, the only country in terms of PPP or GDP. When we are talking of the global economy, don't forget our India is a good recovery path. So friends, while the full-blown health crisis has destabilized India's country's medical infrastructure, leaving citizens scrambling helplessly for oxygen and hospital beds, our economic activities has also started to feel the pinch. This reality, as economists, I have to admire, I have to understand. And despite the central government's refraining from announcing a national lockdown, economic risks have been mounting amidst state-level restrictions and partial lockdowns. These stories we all know, due to which sectors like travel, tourism, hospitality and retail are very much severely affected. So we all know when the second indicator regarding PMI, and you friends, what is PMI? For the sake of general common listeners, I must say that PMI reports can only be used to assess the health of the manufacturing sector rather than the entire workforce. And PMI means Market Service Purchasing Managers Index. And this signs that 54 in April from 54.6 in March 2021. As localized lockdown across the states come in phases, the full impact on the context-sensitive services sector will only be seen in, could be only seen in May and continue in June 2021, as most state governments have extended lockdowns further after April. So, if things go downhill from here, expecting the third wave, that will be major hit for the Indian economy. Friends, the manufacturing PMI is Friends, the manufacturing PMI is composite weighted average index of new orders, output, employment, suppliers, delivery, times, stocks of purchasing derived from a survey of private manufacturing companies. And this PMI remained largely flat in April compared to March levels of 54.4. So this is the reality regarding this PMI, and some of the largest car manufacturers in the country registered declines in sale of 7 to 9% in April 2021. So the automobile sector has high backward and forward linkages with other sectors of the economy and is hence credible indicator of underlying economic trends. So talking about Indian economy, on the employment front too, indicators are not very encouraging as per CMI report. We agree about this data. As per this CMI, unemployment rates rose in April and May, disrupting the business activities amidst state level restrictions. And friends, the impact in urban areas was higher, where unemployment rate roses to 9.8% from 7.3% in March 2021, while in rural areas it jumped to 7.1% in April 2021 from 6.1% in March 2021. So the CMI reports that 7.5 million jobs have been lost in April 2021 and nearly 10 million jobs were lost in May 2021. So this is really a matter of concern, and I hope as economists, then when the things vaccination program will speed up and complete lockdown will end, this trend of recovery will see and employment will grow very fast in our country. So friends, we all know, before ending this lecture, this second wave of COVID-19 has severely impacted household income and job, as local lockdowns remain imposed in all states. So there should be some post-COVID priorities. And before ending, I must quote these major post-COVID priorities. Number one should be universal PDS for at least one more year, and Prime Minister Modi has started that. And second, expanding employment guarantee schemes in urban areas for which government is tracing the opportunities. And third, there should be post-COVID scenario, direct cash transfer to many affected population. Government is paying for the Kisan in Uttar Pradesh. The CM is giving cash to the laborers. Whole country should think about that. And third, provide input tax relief to produce in selected sectors. In many sectors government has done, but in many sectors government have still to be done. And fifth, the public investment, this is very much important. The public investment in physical and social infrastructure is need of our government is starting doing this, but this should be continued till the end of this year. And friends, last but not least, the need is to suspend FRBM for 2 years. What is FRBM? We all know that it is a fiscal responsibility and budgetary management. This should be postponed for more 2 years. And also, don't think of fiscal deficit. Monetize the central fiscal deficit. And this is why I can say that there are 4 reasons why India's coronavirus crisis will derail the world economy, and whole world should think of the fully vaccination of Indian population, because if India will lose her economy, whole world will lose its economy, because there may be international restriction, because there will be pharma problems, and we all know that in pharmaceutical industries, India is the 3rd largest in the world in terms of volume and 11th largest in terms of value. It contributes 3.5% of the total drugs and medicines exported globally, and about 20% of global export generic drugs. So, above all, in present situation, India produced 70% of the world's vaccine. That's why whole world should think about the pharma problems. And friends, through this, thank you for listening my lecture. And again I am repeating by ending this lecture that don't corner our Indian economy in this pandemic era, but compare our Indian economy in the global perspective. Thank you.